Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. I am here to talk about motorcycle security systems. Now, I've done the Moto security system on this bike that I've reviewed, which is an awesome product. I would recommend it. It's still on my bike. I have also used the Spot GPS units previously because, well, some D-bag did try to steal my bike back when I first bought it. That has been the catalyst of what has me interested in motorcycle security. So naturally, when Apple announced that they had these little AirTags, that was the first thought I had. Was like, wow, that would be kind of a cool, cheap way to put some sort of security on your bike.
So this is what I'm talking about right here. This is an Apple AirTag. As you can see, this is actually how it comes. This just came out of a 4-pack that I've bought. Now these run for $29 a piece, or you can buy the 4-pack for $99. And it's super simple to pair these things up. So what you can see here is I'm actually doing a screen recording of the Find My app, which is how you will utilize this. All you do is you take your AirTag, unwrap it. There's a little pull tab here. Now you take it next to your phone. It already was able to see that I was connecting it. So we'll say connect. We'll name a new item here. I'm actually going to name this one separate. I have a couple set up already. Continue. Keys. So you can actually change the icon for the AirTag, how it will display. Continue. Register your AirTag. Yes. So now it is setting it up. And there we go. So now done. And now you can see here, it is in my list of all of my stuff. I have my truck keys, motorcycle keys, the bike itself, and my gear bag, which you can see behind me. I also have one in as well. This is basically all you have for the AirTag. Really small and mainly part of this video, very easy to hide. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back to the bike and I'll come back to you guys and show you the mapping of it, how it all worked out at the end of this video, and just kind of show you how well and maybe how not well it works as a tracking device for your motorcycle. You be the judge, but again, $30, pretty cheap solution in my opinion. Let's go back to the bike.
So I did want to come out to test this system because the way that it works is that you put this little Apple AirTag basically anywhere, and the idea is that as you drive by anybody or you're in proximity of anybody who has an iPhone, that it will then ping off of that iPhone and locate your item for you. So no, it's not real-time GPS. No, it's not real-time cell data. You're not going to get minute-by-minute updates as to where your product is. However, you will get updates every time an iPhone is nearby. At this point, yeah, I don't know, it's hundreds of millions. So theoretically, if somebody were to steal your motorcycle, you're probably not going to need to know step-by-step, minute-by-minute which road they're on, but more or less which chop shop it went to, which backyard. There's all of these areas that you know, the bike is going to wind up. And do you think that out of that area, any of those thieves are going to have iPhones? Any of their neighbors are going to have iPhones? Anybody driving by is going to have an iPhone? Pretty safe bet. So you're probably going to get a pretty close, accurate spot of where your product is, being the bike in this case. So for me, what I've done, and I'm not going to share it where I've put it on this bike because, well, you can really put it anywhere. But what I will say is that you can just throw a little bit of 3M tape, the black, I forget the black stuff is called, but it's like literally never comes off of anything, double stick tape, and it'll be good to go for like a year. They say that the batteries will last. And one thing that Apple is good at, obviously with the Apple ecosystem, is it'll notify you that the battery needs to be switched out. So I have been really thrilled with these AirTags so far. As I'm recording this video, what I did is set up my laptop at home with the Find My app open, and hopefully what it is doing is tracking where my bike is currently based on any of these people that might be passing me with an iPhone. And yes, I know people are going to be like, you dope, you have your iPhone right on the bars, so it's tracking you as you speak. That is not true. Not only did I turn the phone off, but when I turned it off, it said that location tracking is still on when the iPhone is off for the Find My app. What I did do was went back into it and actually turned off location services. So now the phone location services are off and the phone is off. So my phone right now is not tracking anything that is happening with my AirTag on my bike. It should be going off of anybody that's driving by me, basically. So we'll see how that works. What I will do right now is I will throw it back into the studio so I can talk about it further and kind of analyze that video that I'm currently running that I, as of this moment, cannot see.
Okay, so now that we're back in the studio here, I did want to come back, and what I had done was let the map run on my computer here at the house. So again, this is actually tucked away pretty far on my bike. It's not necessarily visible to daylight. As a matter of fact, I would challenge anybody who found my bike to actually find where I have this thing tucked away, because it's really, really hidden. Reception would be not the best where I have it. And this is what I had experienced on my journey. So let's go ahead and just play this. You can see the timestamp 12:13, and you can see it's picking up locations 12:19, 12:22, 12:38. Pretty big jump there, 12:40, 12:44. And I'm out in a pretty remote area here, so this is pretty impressive. 12:44 to 1:09. So there was a 20-minute gap there that a lot of people would look at and be like, well, that's a lot of jump that you have. But again, the difference with what I would say, what makes this to be a reasonable security solution, is that you now know your motorcycle is over here, as opposed to it's over here in Scottsdale, which this distance is a good 40 minutes away. Actually, geez, to be honest with you, probably about 50 minutes away, because the way you got to drive. So if somebody stole your bike, you at least know that you're heading in this direction. Law enforcement can head in that direction, as opposed to having no idea if they stole it and went northeast, southwest, who knows. This at least puts it in perspective of where you're headed. And I'm actually pretty impressed with this, to be honest with you. Pretty remote area. So here you see 120, and now I had actually shot back down south. So I made my U-turn. You can see 108, it picked it up. And then about, call it 20 minutes later, I was back down, heading back home. It was kind of just a quick trip into the mountains, back down, heading back home. So again, this just shows you that it picks up a pretty decent information for you. Now, some of the limitations to this device that are actually good limitations in the greater good of humanity is that there are some anti-stalking features on here. So what you do have to be aware of is if you put this on your bike, and it is possibly subject to change as new iterations of software come out, is I believe as of today, it's up to like 8 to 12 hours after this leaves all of your belongings. So after this thing travels down the road and it's no longer in connection with any of your stuff, if whoever happened to steal your bike has an iPhone and they're with that bike now for the next 8 hours or whatever the case may be, an alert will pop up on their phone saying that somebody is following you, and this will actually start to beep. So your window of opportunity of, oh no, my bike was stolen, is about 8 hours. Now, is that a big deal? Possibly. It's a limitation. Just understanding that. In my life, if my bike was gone, I would know pretty much almost immediately, if not within a couple hours of it being gone. So I wouldn't be too worried about that aspect of it. And again, it's just a potential limitation of it. You will still probably see where it was last that it was noticed. And again, ultimately, if somebody steals this thing, it's going to probably be in the middle of the night. You're going to wake up at some point, know your bike's gone, and be able to track it down. So again, it is a limitation. It is quite possible that a window of opportunity passes, they find this thing beeping on your bike somewhere, find it, get rid of it, and then move the motorcycle or something like that. But again, this is just viewing the AirTag, understanding it does have limitations. It is not constantly connected to cell towers. It is relying on people with their iPhones. Most likely, if it's being stolen, it's not being stolen and taken off into the mountains on a joyride. It's probably being stolen, taken to a chop shop, where you're going to have not only people in that shop with iPhones, but also neighbors and things like that, people driving by, that the device theoretically could pick up the location, and then you would have an idea of where it's at for law enforcement. So with that being said, guys, that was my take on using AirTags for a security device. I hope I provided a little bit of information for somebody who might be looking at these as something they might want to use. It's an interesting concept, interesting idea, and I'm sure there are people that are out there interested in utilizing AirTags as a cheap motorcycle security system. And for what they are and understanding the limitations, I think it's totally worth it. I think for $30, you can't go wrong if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. As always with everything, I'll link in the description down below for the AirTags. So as always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. See you guys next time.